Hey, David Wygant, 10 minutes of daily reality. This is like that movie. God, Ken, when we got Ken the scientist on right now. And by the way, for those of you who still have not ordered your C60purplepower.com, you're going to want to. You have to. It is the best antioxidant. And to tell you the truth, he's got supply when all these so-called immune boosters that you can get at Whole Foods, along with the cans of food and the potato chips you're eating, which really neutralize the immune booster you're taking to begin with anyway. That's the reason why you need 50 rolls of toilet paper in your house, because you're going to the bathroom 24/7 because you're eating the worst food in the world. If you just buy C60, it will do all that the other stuff is doing. But anyway, Ken, I got to say something, okay? I feel like the world is confined, sitting in their homes, waiting to die. I mean, that's what it just like, it's like, and I am like the ultimate, like, going out and doing things and so forth. But I mean, everywhere you go, like I got 7 bottles of water from Mountain Valley today, and I've got to go and I'm going to have to take the plastic things of water and put them in the shower and soap them and give them a bath. And, you know, everybody's afraid of the Instacart person who's delivering the thing. And I was at the farmer's market the other day, and there was this guy on this megaphone, practice social distancing. He had a stick, and he would tap people with the stick and show them what 6 feet apart truly was. Oregon just shut their trails down till September 1st. So what we are becoming is that a culture that's going to sit around and stare at blue light 24/7 because we're not even allowed outside. You can't even go on a hiking trail. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, people are going to lose their mind. This is like that movie, Day 55, you know, all those like space movies, Day 57, Day 58. I'm starting to notice a voice inside my head that's talking to me. It wasn't there yesterday. Day 59, my belly is really big. Oh, it must be all the stuff I bought in the middle rows, because I don't know about you, but I go to the market and there's plenty of produce and fresh fish and fresh meat, but I can't get chips. Oh, okay. Oh, bummer. I can't get food that would actually ruin and kill my immune system. What is your take on this? Because I just feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone. I walk around and I go dee 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 to people, and they start laughing. You can't get a cup of coffee, they have to meet you outside. You can't get a fresh juice, they have to meet you outside. You know, it's just, what are we doing?
Well, I just say welcome to Coronaville.
Yeah, oh God.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but the one thing I driving on the freeways, they're like empty.
Empty.
Rush hour traffic, it's so bizarre. It's like surrealistic.
Ken, wait, before you answer, I was on Sepulveda Boulevard in Los Angeles, one of the busiest roads in the nation, on Saturday going to my hill that I hike up, and there was not a car in front of me, not a car behind me. And then the 405 looked like a country road, you know, like massive space between cars because people are practicing social distancing in cars. You know, a dog was sniffing a dog's ass the other day, and I said, no, he's got to practice social distancing. He might get the Kabarka virus, you know, the thing going on with dogs. But what are we doing?
Oh, it's gone into paranoia and craziness. I mean, shutting down the trails in Oregon, how ridiculous is that? That's just like insane. It's just, yeah, people are going into this whole thing. And the other thing is, you know, one of the greatest things for getting rid of influenza, which is why people get influenza in the wintertime, because they're inside, not getting sunlight, because sunlight produces vitamin D, which is critical to over 500 biological processes. And like when I was a teacher, that's one of the first things we did as like, you know, junior teacher gets in there, is they set you down and say, here, you need to take vitamin D every day, you know, 5,000 to 10,000 IUs, because that's why people get sick, you know, and you're working in a germ factory, so you need to do this. And if you did that, you didn't get sick during that. And so, you know, people staying in their houses, looking at the screen all day, not going out and getting sunlight, is actually weakening your immune system. I mean, everybody should be getting somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes of sunlight a day, and just not on the top of your head. So, you know, a little bit more. So that's something and that's really, really strengthening. And the other thing is, like, that's why I get in the winter, but like I just live in Phoenix, and there everybody's healthy during the wintertime. But then when summer comes, because it's so damn hot, you know, it's 115, everybody stays inside in the air conditioning, and that's when they get sick and they get the flu. in the summertime in Phoenix because everybody's inside. They're not getting their vitamin D. So, I mean, break the quarantine, get out and get some sunlight and, 15 to 30 minutes a day so that your health can be better. That'll protect you more than anything right off the bat. So, and sunlight's free, right? You don't have to go down to the store to get a supplement. It just shines in the sky.
Oh, talking about supplements. Okay. I order stuff wholesale through a friend of mine, and oh my God, you can't get anything. It's like, and this is the thing that people don't understand, is like, just because the expiration date says August 2024, I like my supplements one bottle at a time because I want my stuff fresh. I don't want it sitting in that sealed thing. And people are hoarding people are hoarding everything right now. And that hoarder mentality, you're just going to be eating things that are old, taking supplements that are old, playing around with things that are old. And it's crazy. And plus, people don't even know what they're taking. I mean, the fact is, the stuff you can get, like the mushroom powder, which is really the stuff that's the anti-immune, which is really the thing, 'cause I take that every single day along with my greens after my C60. It's like, this is stuff I've been taking forever. I don't need to go and buy the other stuff. I take my liposomal vitamin C. I've been taking that forever. I've been doing all the things that I've needed to do for a long, long time. And it's just crazy. It's New York. Did you see the New York thing? It's like Central Park is now a makeshift morgue.
Yeah, it's like insane.
Holy shit.
Those streets are usually super crowded. Everything just like New York goes nonstop. And now it's like a ghost town. It's craziness.
Oh, it's crazy. And you have like 1,000 people a day now are dying in New York. And I mean, who is at risk now? I mean, it's like every single day, people are passing along the paranoia fear. You should see, I was doing my cardio the other day, and I would walk down the hill and just having a conversation, and people would go forever away from you. I mean, they would just go and they would just take a circle and go so far away. I mean, Ken, you've been following this for so long. So what's the myth and what's the truth?
Oh, well, if you look at the thing, it's basically something like 95% of all the deaths are people that are over 65 and have an underlying health condition. And most of the other ones younger, they have an underlying health condition that kind of makes them susceptible. I mean, yeah, it's worse than the flu, but it's still not, it's for most people, something like 95% of the people that will get it, they'll have just mild symptoms or, moderate symptoms, and then it'll go away. So it's the 5% that the problem is. And, a lot of people don't even know they had it. They had it, and then it goes away, and they never even knew they had it. So that's what people have to do to understand. And so, but sure, they've all. You don't need to hear from me all the things you're supposed to do, but and what it is like big bunch of vitamin C. That's really liposomal if you can do it, and then the chaga mushroom thing, and then also vitamin A. But a good multi-supplement will help you with a lot of that. Oh, and by the way, if you can't get a hold of vitamin C, you know what you can actually do is that the I guess what you call the peels on oranges and grapefruit have way more vitamin C than the fruit itself. So you can just take the vitamins, you take those peels, dry them out. You got to dry them out completely so the butane gets out of them and stuff, and then you can grind them up, and you have like your vitamin C powder right there. Just put it in water, stir it up, and there it is. I mean, so if you really get desperate, orange peels and grapefruit peels and lemon peels, for that matter, are a great source of vitamin C.
It's funny, I'll cook lemon over fish, and I'll eat the lemon peel. Yep. And I know I'm getting like vitamin C. I know I'm getting that stuff, and it's amazing. It's just every day. And the stock market's going up, back up, which is just stupid. I mean, I trade, so.
Well, you know how they're pumping into that thing. They're just pumping hundreds of billions of dollars, who knows, trillions of dollars a day. They've already pumped in, what is it, 2.5 trillion into the stock market, some crazy amount.
It's going to go back down. It's going to go back down.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably sometime here in April.
Yeah, it has to go back.
It's going to go another big hunk.
Yeah, it's going to go in a big hunk because, I do technical analysis, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, and people are like, yeah, buy. And I go, no, because it's got to retest the bottom. Just like the test it's just, there's things to it, but it's just, I'm telling you, and this is something and I truly believe And look, I'm not a net. Look, I've been watching Ozark, which has been really great. You know, so there are some great shows, right? And I've been watching that cat show with those crazy cat people on Netflix. You
Oh,
know, the
okay.
one,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard about that one.
the tiger one. You got to watch that. But
Yeah.
I'm taking this time, and this is something that a lot of people don't do. I'm taking this time not to be fearful. I'm taking this time to educate myself more, to be smarter, to learn more about my trading, to still work out, you know, to still work out every single day, to continue to eat healthy, to continue to speak up and realize it's like this is prison we're all living in right now.
Oh, yeah. And people have to worry about fear. You know, the thing with people, when people are in fear, you got the amygdalas, and they're on the two side, your midbrain. They're like two little almond-sized processing centers. When you get in fear, it goes to the flight and flight response. So it kicks back to like the motor centers, your vision centers, and you know the pineal gland and the pituitary gland put out a whole bunch of things, and you go into, you know, the adrenaline gets in there, but your frontal lobes go on neutral. So that's why people, when they're full of fear, they panic and they just don't think, because literally they can't think, because all the energy in the brain is flipped back into those areas, and there's nothing going on up here in the frontal lobe. So that's why you get all that insane, crazy behavior, people acting, you know, walking around, you know, oh my God, and all the other craziness that you hear. You know, people are coughing here in the state of California. Some people hear, you know, people coughing in the apartment next to them. They call it the police. They're coughing next door. Send out, you know, the cops. I mean, it's just madness. But that's what happens when you're full of fear. These frontal lobes aren't working anymore.
Well, you also, and this is something that's really interesting, and I'm going to say it, and I've said it over and over again. Go to c60purplepower.com. YGANT10 is the discount code, all in caps, 10 is the number, okay, 10, and realize that if you actually did what Ken just said and add C60 to your repertoire, you would actually have a mindset of, I'm fine. Not only that, Ken said something that was really important, okay, and I think it's something that you all need to listen to. And I'm going to say it, you know, my girlfriend had a nasty cold about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. Gee, that's kind of perfect timing, isn't it? You know, big cold, you know, kind of body aches and stuff. A lot of those symptoms that COVID-19 is. I typically, like I always do when someone is really sick around me, I'll get a mild sore throat or mild cough. So I pumped elderberry and I pumped wellness formula and I pumped my other stuff, right? And for 4 weeks, it's still just starting to taper off, right? I'll have that little mild cough, and I've had it for 4 or 5 weeks now.
Don't do that in public.
All right, and I know I will in public, and it's kind of coincidental. So I did it, and the other day I coughed in public, and I looked at somebody, and I said, "Are you freaking out a little bit?" Right? And they look at me, and they go, "A little bit." I said, "Listen," I said, "I probably already had it." I said, "And you probably already had it." I said, "What have you felt over the last 4 or 5 weeks?" I was like, "I had a little bit of a sore throat, right?" You know, I said, and I mean, it's like, and that's something that, you know, they've said from the beginning, but people don't listen to that, you know, they don't hear, because if this thing, and this is what really is contradictory, you know, is that, oh my God, wipe down your Amazon box. Oh my God, you know, wear a mask outside. Oh my God, you know, and it's so highly, you know, it's contagious. It's all this stuff, right? Well, it is, which means that so many people have already had it and passed through it. And it's not, and that's why these extreme measures are just based on so much fear. And I look at it and I say to myself, probably did, you know? And that's just my body going, okay, you know? And it's like, I probably know a lot of people who've walked around and had it. And the thing is, we're looking at, and that's Ken, that's the big mistake. We're looking at the tested number versus the death number. If everybody was tested for the flu, and then the people who died, you'd have this itty bitty percentage, right?
Oh yeah, because it's only the people that really get sick that get tested. So all the people that had mild or no symptoms at all aren't in the equation. So then the death amounts are way skewed, because you know your sampling is, you're not taking a full sample.
No.
You're taking a mini sample and then taking a sample of that. And oh, by the way, how did your girlfriend do with the C60?
Fine, you know. Fine. I mean, everybody I know is fine, you know, and it's like, and everybody I know has had some type of mild thing the last month. when all this started coming. Everybody knows, had some type of like runny nose, little mild cold, cough. Even my daughter had the sniffles. It's just like, and it's just so, I don't know, Ken. I'm looking at society as a whole right now, and I'm thinking to myself, oh man, it's just scary, and this is the year of just the shutdown. I mean, and I look at the people, and I think to myself, man, we're going to be shutting the world down. And I've said it, you and I have talked about it. We joked about it. We joked about it for the summer, and it's exactly the pace we're on. We're not going to be normal until the summer. And this is going to put so many people out of business, so many people, and so, and I've been talking to your buddy that I met at the
oh yeah.
Yeah. Awesome guy. Right. And he says gun sales are way up. And that's another thing that's scary, is that what's going to happen in these big cities once you have that population of people who have not worked in 4 to 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, and paycheck to paycheck is all evaporated. People now are allowed not. Did you know the law in Los Angeles? You can skip paying rent now.
Ooh.
Right? And you won't get evicted for a year. You can collect unemployment even if you have an S corporation. I mean,
yeah, but it's just, how long is that going to last though? And what about those people, those landlords that don't get paid? What about them? And so it's just, the cure is way worse than the disease. And it's just, it's just getting, how are you going to keep like a restaurant going? Those guys have slim margins.
Slim.
And they're paying rent. And, most of them aren't going to make it. Simply, it's just the way it is. And all the other small businesses, hairdressers, barbershops, gyms, you name it, it's just going to be a massive economic calamity that really was unnecessary. It's like people got into it. There's a certain segment of the population which was vulnerable and they should be protected, but to shut everything down and destroy your economy, commit economic suicide, it's insane.
I know, but why are we doing it? Why are we
Well, you know what they call it? The plandemic. And it's definitely, it's a genetically engineered virus. There's
oh God, yeah.
If they've gone through the DNA or the RNA, I guess, and yeah, it's definitely genetically engineered. They got little pieces of HIV and other things kind of slapped together there. So it's definitely got out of a lab somewhere. Who exactly did it and how it happened, we don't know, but there's no doubt about that. So it's interesting that it showed up in China and Iran at about the same time, and it attacked the Iranian leadership first, then versus the population. So that makes it all very suspicious.
It's all really suspicious. I listen to things, I listen to the stuff that's, I don't listen to CNN. I listen to the YouTube guys that, the doctor who talks about it and just says, look, people, and he even said it. He goes, so many people have already had it. He goes, you burned through it. He goes, but nobody wants to hear that. And I think this really comes down to what our society is in the first place. It's like social distancing. I've made jokes about it lately, but look, I've been a social distancing coach. I've been trying to teach people how not to social distance. And it's interesting. It's like people are practicing what they have literally been practicing their whole lives. People are now being able to say it's social distancing is in. It's like, wow, now I can really be antisocial. The pressure is off. I don't have to communicate with people. And this is a man-made thing. And it's, there's all these theories that go out there like, oh, the government's finally gonna be able to control us. And,
oh yeah,
people are just gonna, people are never gonna be the same. And it's the end of, but it's the end of salad bars. It's the end of a lot of things.
Yeah, and things, first number one things people should do is stop watching television, stop the fear porn. And if you look at like the evening news, news.
Wait, I got to write that down. Fear porn.
For years. I mean, that's the main thing they do is they do the fear porn, then they do the cute little human interest story at the end of the broadcast. And the public has been trained on fear porn for a generation. And so the best thing you can do for your mind and your sanity and your health and not get the subliminals trying to make you buy some worthless product is stop watching TV. Just turn the TV off. I mean, you have an internet world out there where you're in control of what you want to see. I mean, it's like, garbage in, garbage out. You watch the television, that garbage is going in. You're going to have a mind that works like garbage. So you can go on the internet and select what you want to see. Be more selective. It's just like eating food. You can eat the crap from the mid aisles, or you can go around the edge of the supermarket where you got your fruits and vegetables and healthy meats.
Yeah, it's interesting you said fear porn, and it just shows there's so much of it. It's just, I close my eyes and I see people like crazed, and the more fear breeds more fear. And then it's only, and and I'll say it here, you guys will say, oh my God, these guys said it. You just give this another 30 days of people being cooped up in big cities and watch the looting begin.
Oh yeah. We could say America is having a fear porn orgy. So
they are, I got to write that down, because we are having but the world is shut down. I mean, that's the thing. I talked to my friends in Colombia, and the world shut down. I talked to my, friends in Europe, and they're all shut down. But there's a difference that I think America needs to be aware of, is that people are not, this is not a gun, the rest of the world is not gun toting as America is. America is the place that I get the most fearful for. Because it's just, I worry about America, because the longer it goes on, the more hostility, the more violence will start to come. It's proven in America. America is a violent society. And if you coop up the inmates long enough, what happens in prison when people are cooped up long enough? There's fights, there's arguments, there's violence. And that's what I start to think to myself, Ken, is when the violence starts, what are they going to do next?
Well, but there's not a lot you can do for other people, but you can do it for yourself. Like, remember when you started taking C60 and driving down the road, like the road rage just kind of went away. You just said, okay, that's a jerk. I'm just going to keep going instead of getting angry. And so that's one of the other things, C60 brings that, it gets your brain functioning. You get that full frontal lobism. Instead of, running into fear, panic, and all that. It just doesn't happen. You might if something jumps out, you'll do it, but then you'll click back into normal really rapidly. And so that's one of the benefits of C60.
And to go find out more about C60, go to c60purplepower.com. There's a discount code YGANT10. And I can tell you, and I'm going to vouch for Ken on that. It's, my road rage, everything. To be able to think clear is what you need now, not only to build your immune system, but to think clearly. Like the longer C60 goes into my body, the more clearer I become in my thoughts, which is really fascinating to me. It's like not reacting as much, calming down. And it takes a while to calm down. Look, I trade stocks, so my amygdala goes into fucking full force, right?
That's nerve-wracking.
It's nerve-wracking. But it's becoming less. It's interesting. As each week goes on, I'm having bigger money-making days. I still have my emotional mess ups, once a week, one day a week, where I'll lose a bunch, because I'm emotionally charged. But even when and this is interesting too, even when I'm processing that emotional charge, that revenge trading or that emotional trading, I'm processing it, and then I'm walking away for the rest of the day, calm, collected, feeling at peace, feeling at ease. I'm also noticing a couple of other things. My eyes feel really good. Sometimes sometimes my eye really hurts because, for one, I've got, it takes a while, once you put the blue screens protectors on, and then you got the good, Gunner blue screen glasses, it takes a while for your eyes to realize that hazier things are actually better than clear, bright screens. So you get a little bit of a headache. I get a little bit of a headache because my eyes are not used to it's like, but it's good. But I mean, I'm also noticing a lot of other things. Like my workouts are strong, my muscle tone is not dissipating because I'm not able to do my weights right now, but yet my muscles will react just from my push-ups, Still getting that all-night thing that we talked about. You got to listen back on shows because it definitely does something to your, to your sex drive. but it's amazing. And I do feel like I am protected. You know, I do feel like I am taking the things, because that's the thing right now, clear mind. I mean, people are going to the fear porn orgy and they're not investing in the mind. They're wasting their money. And that's why you go to c60purplepower.com. This is going to replace so much of the stuff. Your appetites are going to be better. You're going to cleanse better. Like the other day I had a stomach ache, right? Because I must have eaten something that somebody must have touched. You know, I mean, every day there's food poisoning, right? And I went through it fast because your system is saying, hey, there's a toxin in it. We need to get it out. We need to purge it any which way we can. And that's the beauty of all this stuff, is that if you take C60, you're not going to have to do all this crazy stuff you're doing. The stuff you're doing is nuts.
Oh yeah. And that's like, for instance, since I've been taking C60 and friends and family, you can get, like you'll go to a party and, before the Corona stuff, especially Christmas time or Hanukkah or whatever, you go in there and kids, how the kids are sick and every bunch of people are sick, and you go in there and they, and you get, and then like this Christmas, I went there and they had all these other different parties. I went to all over the place, and the kids were there, got sick. And so I got maybe about 2-3 days, I got a little bit of something. I just did a lot extra C60, boom, it's gone. And that's what people do when you're on C60. You might, you got people all around you, they're really, really sick. And then you might get you a little bit of something and then it's gone really quickly. And because that's one of the things, C60, really ramps up your immune system. And the other thing it does, of course, I've talked on other shows, it increases stem cell production. And stem cells are where your nerve cell or your immune cells come from. So like, let's say you get something going, your body calls out, we need more troops, right, to fight T cells, B cells, macrophages, whatever it is. And bam, there's a bunch of stem cells that are ready to go. And so they can convert over into immune cells. And so instead of, your immune system sets off and an army shows up to take care of the problem, versus, especially if you're older, if you don't have very many stem cells, the alarm goes off and hardly anybody shows up. So that's one of the benefits of C60.
It's interesting. Remember that email I sent you about that woman? Her herpes went crazy, right? Her, her period came back, right? And it's funny, if anybody's done any type of immunotherapy, let's say, for instance, if you ever suffered from herpes or warts or everything, and you do low dose immunotherapy, what's going to happen? Your herpes and your warts are going to come flying back. Why? Because your body's expelling it and getting rid of it. The outbreak could be your final outbreak. It's like your body finally going whoosh, throwing it all out there, right? And I remember when I sent you that email, and it's like, here's a woman who claims, quote unquote, that she's healthy, when in reality, if she saw that, she would have realized, this is awesome. I'm getting rid of it finally. And the fact is, wow, I'm getting my period back. Yeah, your body it's called anti-aging. It's called, so explain that phenomenon, because I think I'm very aware of it because I've been taking so many different cool things for so long. So it's like, I've got no problem. Like, I know, like, sometimes I'll take the C60 and then my eczema will come flying out again. So you know what I'll do? I'll douse a little bit more. I'll rub a little bit here, and guess what happens? It's gone, right? Because it's called processing. Your liver's processing. So can you explain why that happens and how that happened to that woman and why it was a positive thing and not her just like, negative?
Oh, well, first, one of the things is C60 really works. Sure, it works all kinds of places in your body, but one of the best things, especially at the cellular level, is it kind of brings your mitochondria back up to speed. As we get older, the mitochondria, they're kind of like symbiotic. They're the powerhouse of the cell, but they're kind of like, they're descended from symbiotic bacteria that are, gone into the larger eukaryotic cell. And so they have their own DNA, and they're the powerhouse of the cell. And the bigger cells provides them with antioxidants. As we age, the bigger cells provide them less and less antioxidants, so that they have to actually shut down and they don't produce as much. When you take C60, C60 goes in and replaces all the antioxidants, missing antioxidants the mitochondria need, then some. So the first thing is you get ATP production now. People know out there, ATP is like the energy molecule of the cell. You need it for pretty much every cellular process. So now you got all the ATP you want. But the other thing is mitochondria take the bad cholesterol, low density cholesterol, and they convert it into a pregnenolone, which is the precursor molecule for all the hormones. So, and that's one of the reasons why you get low density LDL, the bad cholesterol builds up, is because your mitochondria aren't converting it into pregnenolone, which is then converted into hormones. But unlike hormone therapy, where they'll give you like testosterone or estrogen or progesterone, like one specific hormone, once your body starts, your cells start producing all the pregnenolone they need, then you start getting, you could get it, you get the sort of hormones you need where you need them. Like your pituitary gland can kick in, the human growth hormone, or your thyroid gland kicks in T3. We had like Sierra, she's our IT person of the company. She had like zero thyroid function before she started taking C60. Now she's up to like 2/3 thyroid function. You got to get rid of 2/3 of her medicine.
That's huge on women, because women have a lot of those thyroid issues. That's tremendous. I mean,
yeah, and it's just, the cells aren't working right. And a lot of it's too, part of it appears, the turnover, because if you've got senescent cells in your body, those are basically zombie cells. They've run out, their telomeres have gotten so short, they can't really reproduce again, divide. But then they've gone aerobic or anaerobic. And so they're running the fermentation. So they're just pulling energy from the body, contributing nothing. Well, C60 gets in there and causes apoptosis, which is programmed cell death of like senescent cells. So they go out, then you get new cells from stem cells, right? Will come in and replace them, the missing cells, and those cells are going to be working functional. So you're literally regrowing your body in a younger sense. And that's why people's telomere lengths actually increase when you're taking C60. Basically, because all the old cells with shortened telomeres are gone. The new cells coming in from stem cells have almost a full set of telomeres. So your average telomere length increases, your quote biological age gets younger. So that's one of the key things.
It's amazing. We're going to wrap up in about a minute, because I want to bring you back again next week. I want you to come on weekly and give people hope, but reality. And that's, I think, something, Ken, that I think you and I need to really do, because, and I want you to pass this podcast to other people, and I want you to pass C60 on other people, C60purplepower.com. Wygant10 is the discount code. But I really want to, say it's something that I think is just so important. And another thing too, is that I just took my C60 an hour ago, and then 10 minutes later, I do that, about 2 ounces of hydrogen, right?
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, I do my greens. I do my greens with my mushroom. So I'm very, and then I'm going to go have some coconut yogurt and berries right now. I got to go hike a hill, because I could feel, especially with that hydrogen, because I'll wait 10 minutes, let it sit in my stomach, and then take, an ounce or two of hydrogen. And it's like, right now I'm sitting here, Ken, I'm like, oh my God, I got to work out. I got to get up that hill. But I got to eat first too, but I got to get up that hill. And you can feel it in your body, because the way everything is timed. And I want people to feel, go to C60purplepower.com, Wygant10, 10 is the number, it's the discount code. I want you all to feel good during this time. It's so important to dig in and be the strongest version of you right now, and not listen to CNN, and not listen to Governor Cuomo freak out in New York, and not, buy into everything, and realize that so many people have already had this, and it's working its way through, just like any other virus is. This one happens to be man-made, but it's working its way through the population exactly the way it's supposed to work its way through, and your life is going to go on. But this is a wake-up call to the way that you take care of yourself. And somebody that day said, C60 is expensive. I said, if you have that mindset that it's expensive, then you don't care about yourself. So when you put poison, Starbucks, okay, complete pesticide cup of coffee, non-organic vegetables, pesticide, non-organic berries, pesticides. So you spend more money per week than you would on a bottle of C60 spread out, amateurized over 2 months. It is dirt cheap, actually. So you have to understand that. C60purplepower.com, Wygant10. Ken, any final notes you want to tell everybody?
Well, I'd say, have some sanity, think, focus. It's not a time, really. It's not a panic. People are going to look back from this 3 months and say, what was I thinking? What was I doing? Don't be one of those people. And the other thing is, get out and get some sunlight. Go out and walk, get exercise, and good nutrition is great, but you also got to have the exercise. You got to have the sun, and also a positive mental attitude. If you just sit in your house and, watching the screen all day, you're going to start freaking out, start your life back up, keep living your life, and bring a sense of normality and health to yourself, so you don't have to, be like the rest of the people. And then, of course, turn off your TV. That's always a good idea.
I agree. All right, you all know where to find C60, c60purplepower.com. Wygant10, the number 10 is your discount code. You can find me at davidwygant.com, and I will definitely see. We got John Keegan coming up on the show this week. He's going to vent like a maniac. We'll probably have about 20 shows with John Keegan. We'll have Ken back on next week, and we'll have some other people. Maybe I'll actually do a daily show again. Who knows? But I'm too busy kind of learning stuff. So listen to this over and over again and realize fear porn is just mentally masturbating your amygdala away. I'm going to leave you at that. Ken, stay on. I'll say goodbye to you properly.